Hey everybody, what's up? It's RezenatorZen here. This video is going to be, I think, a two-part video, because I'm going to talk and discuss about the writings of John Saul, and we're going to just do one book, but his whole series of books that I've read have more than one, have a lot of things in them that are similar. So I'm going to do maybe two 10-minute videos about this. I don't know. I'll see where it goes in this video, and if I reach almost 10 minutes, I'll do a second video if I have anything left to say. So if you don't know, John Saul is the writer of books called Shadows, Black Creek Crossing, Devil's Labyrinth, and Dark of the Night. What else? Stuff for the Children, Nightshade, things like that. And they're usually small kids, like maybe not small kids, but like teenagers, really, dealing with outrageous situations. And the way he writes his books is that they feel really real, like they feel quite real, even in unreal circumstances. Like in Dark of the Night, when the teenagers are having to deal with that the murderer's spirits are taking over their bodies and influencing them in some ways, things like that. It is an unreal situation, but it has a real feeling to it. Like if put into that situation, you would react the same way they did. In Shadows, same deal. You might react the same way if you were that small in that book. Now I suggest you go read Shadows, and Dark of the Night, Nightshade, Black Creek Crossing. I recommend you go read his books, just because they're really good to read. I'm rereading In Dark of the Night again, because I bought the book and now I'm rereading it. I'm almost done with it. It's a really good book. I think everybody should go read his books, because they're, as I said, they're well written. They talk about a lot of stuff, talk about how growing up is hard, dealing with issues is hard, but the way he writes it is that even though they're mostly in unreal situations, they feel real. Like Nightshade. Nightshade is a very I'm gonna say the story's a little bit messed up. I'm not gonna ruin what the story is, but let's just say it's really screwed up. So you should really go read that. But it's just beware, because there's some messed up stuff in that book. I guess, I don't know. It was just it tells you one thing and then twist, and then things get worse. But it's a good book. I think you should go read it. I think you really should go read Shadows though, because Shadows is a very good book, and it has I think a 10-year-old protagonist who has to deal with these outrageous situations, like being like friends are disappearing and they don't know where they are, but they're not dead. And he finds out that their brains in tanks. And I mean, it's really well written. There's foreshadowing, there's a whole bunch of things. In the beginning of Shadows, the prologue, I forgot if it's the prologue or the first like few pages. I think it's the prologue. It's about a kid who's trying to work math problems in his brain, because he feels his brain is slowly losing itself. He's losing himself. His brain's dying. That type of thing. And he's think about numbers, reverting to numbers, doing problems, and you don't know what's going on in the prologue of the book. It's this kid who's thinking of numbers, trying to keep his mind going, so that way none of it fades, and it slowly starts to wear away, and finally he just dies. In the book, you find out that was the first experiment of taking the brain out of the human body and putting it into a brain jar and seeing how far it can expand, but that he didn't react well and he died. But I mean, like his books are sci-fi, horror, things like that, sci-fi, horror genre, but if you like a good story, if you like a well-written book, go check out John Saul, any John Saul book, because he writes them very well. But I can only recommend the books that I saw and I've read. So go check out Shadows, um, Black Creek Crossing, Nightshade, and Dark of the Night. Um, and I hope to read more of his books in the future. And I'll do more reviews of his books later. But foreshadowing's really evident in a lot of his books. Oh, I forgot a book, Manhattan Hunt Club. That is a good book. It's about a guy getting wrongfully accused of a crime, and the police have this little thing where they let people hunt criminals. I'm not gonna say anything else, but go read it. Go read the Manhattan Hunt Club. It's a fantastic book, but again, he's a very good writer in making unreal situations feel real. And I think that's evidence of a good writer. Because you can say, oh, I put myself in these shoes, and I may make the same decision as the protagonist, or maybe I would change my opinion and say, oh, I do this. Things like that. You put yourself into the character's shoes, and you can see yourself making the decisions or making not decisions and things like that. So, Nightshade has some interesting things in it. Go read Nightshade. Manhattan Hunt Club has very good ethical questions. Is what they do right? Is it what they do wrong? Things like that. Is the justice system definite enough that innocent people won't get charged for crimes? Um, in Dark of the Night is really good. That just has what do we really know about the afterlife? Could evil really still exist even though someone's dead? Could their evil still exist in some form in the world? But all his books are really good reads. But I know this was supposed to be an in-depth thing, but I got sidetracked by just talking about his books individually. I'll do a more in-depth one at some point in the future. But I'm RezenatorZen. Go read John Saul's books if you like well-written books. If you like dark books, he's the author for you. Peace out.